Zach Noe Towers.
CARA CONNORS.
Hey.
Wow, wouldn't that have been
3
something?
hours in.
Well, it happens. Actually, when I did Beth Stelling's, I forgot to hit record on both of them. So like
God.
7 minutes in, I was like, why aren't the things moving? And then
No.
it's because I'm a dumb bitch, actually.
No. It's a lot to remember. It's because we're not present. We are not. In
We
our
are
bodies
not
enough.
here.
No.
You were just very present. Cara is a fantastic stand-up comedian. We were both on the show Dating No Filter on
That's right,
E.
baby.
Maybe a third season's coming.
I'm hoping.
Right?
Come on, post-COVID.
I
let's
know.
go.
I was thinking it must be expensive in COVID times, but
Right.
like, come on.
I mean, I think it's. I don't know all the costs that go into making a show, but I know some of them, and I feel that ours was pretty affordable.
Dude, at least on the talent
On
end.
our end, it was quite. We are available.
Affordable.
and
We are-
affordable.
yes.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, when you film a season in 4.5 days,
Right.
I'm flexible.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
flexible. But I will say people say like they've watched it on a plane,
Mm-hmm.
they've watched it overseas, they'll be in a hotel room late at night and it's just like on. So at
Yeah.
least it's like I'm sure you still get people being like, "You're my favorite on Dating No Filter."
Yeah, like an occasional like message, like
Uh-huh.
from just sort of like usually it's kind of like a long-term monogamous lesbian couple that has cable and like has kind of gotten to that financial level, and they're like, "Thank you for the representation." And I'm like,
It is a privilege to have access to E.
I think it is. It you know, I'm not even like being facetious, like truly. But now it's like on Hulu, so like people can watch. But before that, you know.
What did you do? How did you get your fucking? I didn't watch it before it was on Hulu.
I know.
I was like, hope it's good.
I know. I mean, we'll find out.
But you were just you're in Groundlings, which is a very competitive comedy school, but specifically sketch and characters. Yeah.
Very charactery. So yeah, it's hard. It's hardcore. But the mask is off. It's just me and you now.
Yay! Yay!
I just do this all in like a really irritating character the whole time. You're like, ew,
Okay, well, I'd
please
fail you if I were the teacher. No, that's great. But yeah, sex podcast. So any
Okay.
opening thoughts on sex? Do you like it?
I love sex.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that I think it took me like a long time to kind of get there because of my own kind of like personal history with it, and like kind of coming to this big come to Jesus moment and realizing that I was gay, because like before that I convinced myself, I was like, I think I'm just like not a sexual person. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. Like, I'm really intense in all these other ways, but like, yeah, I think I just really don't prioritize. It's like, oh no, you were actually just gay. You're very gay. Like, it wasn't like I tried to blame every other thing. I was like switching antidepressants. I was like,
Oh, wow.
maybe it's the person that I'm, it's the, you know, and then
Primarily dating men.
1000% dating.
Until wait, until
Exclusively.
until how old?
Until I was 25.
Interesting. So next year.
That's right. Yeah, it's
I
crazy
really
'cause
did
I'm
think you were
only
like
18.
Yeah, okay, that's crazy.
I
It's like a
know.
future of time traveler's wife situation.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that you were. Are we using the word closeted, or did you even know?
No, I didn't know.
So you
no,
weren't
but I
even
was
closeted.
fully married. You have to remember that, to a man. I was literally like,
I don't think I knew
arguably
that.
a
I don't
child
think I
bride.
knew this. Wait, oh my God,
I
this
know.
is so.
I know.
Okay, let's go back
Okay.
to. Let's go back to the very beginning.
Like, I'm glad you didn't know that, because you're genuinely like,
It's such a good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So what was your what did you know of sex when you were younger, like a child? Like what was the vibe of sex?
Not talked about.
Okay.
Not like very shame based. Like, I was raised Catholic. We didn't
Same.
talk about sex. There was no discussion of it.
Sex education or anything?
No.
Yeah.
I think my mom like kept me home from school on the day that they even talked about periods. Like, I didn't even know I got my period, and then didn't tell my mom for almost 6 months, and like figured out how to use everything on my own. And then sex,
Because you didn't feel
was-
comfortable talking about it?
right? Because it was just so uncomfortable.
yeah.
And I remember here. Okay, this is a perfect encapsulation of how sex was in like talked about in my home. When I was started having sex for the first time, I was like senior in high school, me and my high school boyfriend, And, you know, and we were like fucking all the time and all these different, you know, and I was like, okay, yeah, but it was all very secretive. And then one day, and I thought I was getting away with it. And then one day my mom brought me to Chili's to obviously to have me put my guard down and get whatever you want. I got the loaded baked potato. I got the chips and the artichoke, everything. And then like halfway through the meal, she said, Cara, are you and Robert having intercourse? And then I immediately burst out crying.
No.
Yeah, I burst out crying and then immediately denied it and just said, no, like, I can't believe you think I'm a slut. Like, tried to cover it up. And then that was it. And then we never talked about it again.
The unspoken thing was that sex was like bad out of marriage or something.
It was so not even mentioned that it wasn't even like, I don't even know.
You don't even know.
I remember her telling me when I was in like 3rd grade, like, you can't have a boyfriend until you're, and it's like, I'm in 3rd, I don't want to have a boyfriend. What are you talking about? Yeah. But it was always just this, it was something drenched in shame enough that I knew to not talk about it. And I knew that I had to lie about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And like got birth control. Like I figured it out. Like I went to Planned Parenthood at like the suburb where my high school was and like just started getting birth control and like just had it all, just kept it under wraps, like very sneaky about it.
Wow. And you were having sex all the time with your high school boyfriend. Right. And you were enjoying it?
I was weirdly, yeah.
Okay.
Like that was like, I was like, okay, go off, Robert. Like it was literally, but it was like the perfect relationship for me. Like we literally just like, I would pick him up after school. Like I would have water polo practice. I'm sorry, this gets really dark. I would have water polo practice. I'd pick him up from his all boys Catholic school, pick him up, and then we would go to either his mom's house or his dad's house, depending on like the work schedule. We would have sex, and then we would get Chipotle, and I would go home.
That sounds like a dream relationship now. I mean, not picking them up from school, but like picking them up from work. Yeah,
and like that was it. And like we were just like horny, and like and we were just like. I mean, I think the horniness of being like 16 or 17 overcame even like
sexuality.
Right. But I had no clue at all.
Did you know any gay people when you were younger?
I don't really.
Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in like a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
I mean, there definitely were gay people.
Sure.
But it was the only like mention or, you know, my understanding of it was kind of slurs being tossed around very casually in my house and at my school. And it was like, there's maybe 1 or 2 kids that were out and they were bullied viciously.
Yeah.
And so it was subconscious. Like I wasn't consciously thinking I'm hiding this, but I think, you know, you figure that out. Oh, don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person who's totally just treated horribly. And
were you a mean girl?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Okay, good.
I was kind of like a...
I can't wait.
Like I was like a cocky, like kind of awkward nerd, but I was really good at sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said water polo or whatever.
Like super
I was like, that's
sporty,
specific.
Yeah, like super sporty and like kind of just like floated around and was friends with a lot of people, but like was desperate to be accepted by like the mean popular girls who I was never gonna be accepted by, you know.
And were you ever attracted to girls?
Well, now when I think of it in retrospect, I can think of my first crush being a girl who was like a junior on the volleyball team when I was a freshman. And I also remember another girl that was like a senior when I was a freshman. She was on the basketball team. So it was like captains of teams of the varsity teams that I was on who were just like really hot. But yeah, one of them for sure, this girl Kim Ray, who was like the volleyball
full
captain.
Name. Full government name.
I mean, I hope she messages. I don't know what's up, Kim? I don't know what you've been up to. No, I don't care at all. But no, I was totally enamored by her and thought that she was like so beautiful and wonderful and cool because she also was.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so I would like do anything, like anything for her, but had no concept that I had a crush.
Well, and before we get like quote unquote horny, like we are just like admiring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, do I want to be like them or do I want to be, you know?
Yeah. And thinking about like how intense like friendships are, like especially like all girls Catholic school. You're practicing together.
You were at all girls and he was at all boys.
Okay. Isn't that?
Okay. I mean, it's like hack writing, actually.
It's actually so embarrassing. No, it's true. Like me just like quietly being a tomboy butch, like for just years on end, and like everyone knowing, but no one telling me. I'm like, all my friends, I'm like, was anyone going to tell me? Like when I told you I got engaged to a guy, like, did you feel like you wanted to maybe, and
so wait.
But they just accepted me.
Well, that's nice.
But Midwestern girls are butch. Like every girl in the Midwest is like kind of dykey, and like so it doesn't really like it doesn't even clock, like, you know what I mean?
You're like, oh yeah, she's just
but aren't you from the Midwest? Like think about
Missouri.
like Midwest, think about like a St. Louis mom, like a St. Louis soccer mom,
for sure, and especially compared to like Southern California moms.
No, these are
like cleavage and tan, and like
not what all of the when you ask me, did I know any gay people, I'm thinking of like all of my friends' moms in elementary school, how so many of them were like super butch.
Yeah,
but
my
they
mom,
were straight.
short hair,
like
not much
like
makeup,
clothes as utility.
denim.
Yes.
Yep.
They don't. That's not what they're prioritizing. They take care of their family.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
They ignore their kids' menstrual cycles.
Yes. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about
You're
that.
Disgusting.
I'll make you mac and cheese, but you keep that pussy stuff to yourself.
Exactly. Literally. So
wow.
That's why I think it didn't stand out. It was like,
you're like,
it was like an asset. Like, well, all right, she might be kind of like a boy, but you know, she's good at sports. Like it didn't like.
She has childbearing hips or whatever. She's not gonna be in labor long.
Right. Like that is how it was kind of.
Okay. So Robert was the high school love.
Right. Should I say his last name?
No, just I mean, you see, this is the weird thing. I don't care at all. I'm like, look, I guess I'm looking out for like people being mad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very aware of. I mean, but these are like positive. If Kim Ray finds out that I had a crush on her, great. I don't care.
I actually called out a high school crush on Nightly Pop, which is still E. But I had a high school friend be like, "You said Pat just put its full name." I was like, "Yeah,
we think we're speaking into it, and we're really not." We're not. Like at all. And I will continue to just have that lesson be taught to me over and over.
We will learn it eventually with like a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe in holding people accountable.
Yeah.
So like, you know, ask me who my childhood bully was. No, I'm just kidding.
I would actually love to do a little Facebook search on the bullies, because I don't think we'll ever forget their names.
No, I know.
Okay, so what happened after high school?
Okay, so after high school.
And was Robert all your first, like, HJ, BJ?
Totally. Yeah, he was my first everything, and we were together. Oh, my God. Wow, I miss Robert. No, I was kidding. What is Robert up to?
My first everything.
But we were, like, kind of, like, super serious, like, whole senior year of high school. Then I went off to college to go, again, play water polo at a high level.
At a lesbian level, some would say.
And we, like, stayed together for the first month.
Was he still in high school?
No. Okay. He was also going to college, and then he was like, I mean, I kind of ended it shitty, but I'm like forgiving little Cara, but he was gonna like come visit me in like October, and I was like, I don't want to, you know, it's just like not making sense. I'm in New York, you're in like Wisconsin, so then we broke up, and then all throughout college, I just like would occasionally, I didn't ever really have like another boyfriend. I would like occasionally kind of pursue like random, really kind of like nasty.
I wish everyone could see Cara's face. It's been contorted as
like
she
really dark, like trying to just like I was I like tried to like sleep with a bunch of guys and like see if that felt like anything, and like guys never really were that.
They didn't do it for you,
and they weren't that into me. It's like kind of, you know. I don't know, like I always liked like really kind of like hot, like petite Italian guys, you know? And then I'm like this like beast. Like they don't want to be with me, like, you know? And then like the person who would want to be with me, like a big, you know,
burly
buff basketball player or some shit like that. It's like we would like bro out.
Right.
So it was awkward, really awkward.
Do you look for petite Italian features in women?
I have dated that, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's just like one of the. But I'm just like, I kind of always remember being like towering over all of the boys, even in like third grade, and being like, Rocco, you're really cute, you know? And it's like, you, like, they're scared of you. Like, you literally weigh 4 times as much as them. Like, they don't want to be with you. Just like, it's kind of sad. But
no, it's so cute. It's very cute.
But I tried, like, during college. I mean, I definitely tried, like, but it didn't really
tried for
happen.
yourself or tried for the people around you?
Maybe both. I
Okay.
mean, like the water polo team was kind of fratty. Like it was kind of like very, yeah, it was like frat vibes. So,
Like fuck them and leave them.
yeah, well,
Or-
it was just like basically it was like being on a team of all these buff ass like girls from Texas that just beat the shit out of me every day for a year, you know, and then like they would just like they play hard and they drink hard and everyone's like, "Ah," you know, like fucking and like crushing cans and that kind of thing. So it's like maybe you want to I don't know. I think
were
a lot
there
of it's
lesbians on
subconscious.
that team?
Nobody was out, but I was called, and I like have a joke about this, but like I was endowed with the nickname Dyke on my first day of practice, my freshman year of college. So everyone like called it out right away. They're like, Dyke. And I'm like, no.
In like a negative way?
A mean, super negative way. Yeah, it was not a compliment. I know. It's weird because I didn't go to college in the 60s. Like I'm actually... It's crazy because I'm 16.
It was the late 2000s.
Yeah, like, literally. Yeah, like it's not like it's not that it's
in
really
New
not
York
that far back. I know. Yeah, no, it was just kind of like so maybe it was that. Maybe it was me trying to prove to them like I'm not a dyke, so I'm going to sleep with this like random guy and like no one's buying it.
Yeah. And you weren't selling it either.
No, I was not.
I was going to say I could see, first of all, fuck anyone who feels the need to tell you your sexuality.
I know.
Because even if they like spot it, it's like, it's none of your business.
No.
Stop. And you're trying to make it a mean thing.
It was not meant in any kind of good-natured way.
Affectionate,
No,
yeah.
it was meant in the way that like at my high school where it's like you're getting, it's
yeah,
like
derogatory.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah. But now I own it.
Yeah. And now are there lesbians on that team looking back? Do you know?
I think there's a couple of bi girls for sure. I don't know if there were any full lesbos, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not the only one who ends up divorced from a man who came out of that
God,
team.
I forgot we were edging towards that. Okay, so wait. Your husband, did you meet him in college?
I met him at the very end of my junior year, and he was like 7 years older and like fully a lawyer and living in Manhattan, and I was like still in school and I was like working in the city, so I would commute into the city and nanny and stuff like that. But I remember specifically rescheduling our first date because he suggested a bar and I was turning 21 3 days later.
Stop.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I was a junior.
How did you find each other?
Honestly, okay, Cupid.
Really?
Which is also so embarrassing.
No.
Yes, it is. Okay. I don't have an issue with online, but I'm saying for that, you know.
I've never found anyone good on OkCupid, but I definitely used it like
for sure
around that time period.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it was just fully that, like, and then kind of like met and like fell in love, and I was like, I still have to finish college. Like I had like a semester left.
And looking back, the feeling you felt for him was love.
I absolutely loved him, and like we were totally in love, and like it was actually a really healthy, like good, solid relationship for like a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of.
So wait, you dated, freshly 21,
right?
When did it get serious?
I'm kind of right away.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I like graduated and then like moved in with him like after I graduated, and then like
dorm life to his.
Well, I was living like I was like living in a weird, like I was living with like a married couple in Astoria.
Oh, okay.
In this like weird rented out back room, like more like what's it called? More like an au pair who like still had the visa but was fired from their job.
Yeah.
Sort of that level.
Yeah, I'm familiar. A lot of them get murdered on crime podcasts.
Yeah, you know what I realized in that? That first apartment in New York City, like I remember moving in and it ended very terribly, that apartment. And I remember the guy, there was just like this little mattress left on the floor. And I was like, oh, and he said something about this 19-year-old girl who lived there from Brazil. And I didn't even clock, because I was 19, you know, and like I didn't even clock it.
Like, she's
and
been
then a couple months later,
yeah,
when I was like, oh, this is a nightmare. I have to get out of here. And when I was the one packing up my bags, you know, when they weren't home to just leave and, okay, fuck the deposit, I don't care. It's like, huh, okay.
Wow. you've lived quite a life.
I really have lived many lives.
Wait, so so it got serious. You moved in with him, and then how
Right.
long were you living together before you got engaged?
Maybe a year. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, like hindsight is 20/20.
Right.
When you look back, were you like, oh yeah, I wanted to get married to him?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I think that I realized like I definitely loved him and wanted to be with him, and I think I felt like surprised that was where maybe my life was going, because before I met him I was like, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna go move to California and live with my friend, and that we like worked at this weird camp together, and then I kind of went into this like sort of housewife, like kind of very different path, because he was a lot older and like more established.
Yeah.
And
In Manhattan.
yeah, and so it was really like, yeah, it's like I graduate college, I don't know what the hell I want to do. I do know at some point I want to get married, at some point I want to have a family. I want to, and he's like a really, really good guy.
Yeah.
He's really good to me, and his family's really good to me. And like, okay, maybe I just figured that part out first instead of figuring out the, because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
What'd you study in college?
Psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You
I
didn't
was
even know
like,
you're gonna be a performer.
no, I was like a case manager at like a nonprofit. Like I was working with like little kids, like they were in the system and shit.
Also,
Yeah.
for those of you who can't see, she's in fully tie-dyed overalls. Like, you're such like an interesting amalgamation of like different people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got engaged,
Right, got
and then you got
engaged.
married when you were 20.
4?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
23, 20. Like I was young. I was really young. But yeah, but all of that like didn't make sense. But I think I just wasn't questioning it. And like I've never been, like I don't have a relationship like super close with my family. And I've kind of been on my own for a while. And
Since
so
coming out, or no?
since college. Yeah. And so I think that I just kind of was like drawn to like this person
Stability.
that was very stable, like emotionally, logistically, financially, all these things. And I think that was really probably the number one thing I needed.
I just saw a TikTok about everyone needs at least one tether, and that's a person that like loves you unconditionally.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a tether, usually it's a mom or dad.
Yeah.
You're in a low state of panic all the time.
Totally.
So it sounds like he was like maybe a tether.
It was absolutely that. And like I said, like he was so good to me, and that's kind of this whole like catch-22, or like the sad part of this double-edged sword is like, had I not met him and been with him for a few years and my nervous system finally like relaxed, and I finally kind of was loved and treated really well by all these people and like totally embraced, that is kind of what allowed me to sort of like relax and then kind of blossom and figure it out.
Wow.
So had that not happened,
Right.
but then of course then it's sad because it's like he gave me that, but that's also life, and people figure shit out all the time, and they're always changing. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how long were you married?
Like 2 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. And
That's kind of long. As someone who has commitment
Right.
stuff, that's very long.
yeah, but it was it kind of all coincided. Like we had moved up to Canada into Toronto. We went from New York to Toronto.
That's right.
Yeah, and then I was like going to grad school because I just got married. I went to grad school. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. I hated it. I was like, I do not want to be a teacher. This sucks. And then I took a class at Second City, and I loved it. And then I was doing that for a few months, getting really happy. And then I was around, like, I know it sounds insane to say that I wasn't around a lot of gay people until I went to Canada, because I lived in New York for 5 years. But when you're really straight and really committed to that, I mean, I'm friends with a lot of straight people. I'm their only gay friend, right? And so you really are
in a different world.
You're just not even aware. You're not. I think most people, they're not trying to like only hang out with straight people or only do that. I think they don't even realize that this whole world exists because it's not their world. So it was really only when I went to Toronto, started hanging out with comics, was around all of these very openly queer people, that's when I finally realized it.
Wow. You were like literally doing like an improv bit, and like you're like, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah. No, it was actually a weed brownie that was the first time.
Stop. Was it the first time you'd ever done weed?
No.
Okay.
No, it was the first time. I don't even know why it was that night. No, but I remember being at like a friend's birthday party with my ex-husband, and I ate a huge, crazy strong weed brownie edible and was just sitting there sinking into a chair. And then literally after an hour, I was like, I think I'm gay. And then I had never had that thought ever in my entire life. And then I took that thought and I shoved it back down, for another, like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that.
Wow.
Because, of course, the threat was like, oh, well, I knew as soon as I knew that, it's like, well, then everything is going to be gone.
Wow.
Right? Like.
Because you were still married at that point?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And, like, happy to get, and all these things. And, like, yeah. And so then I kind of shoved it back down. And then eventually I, like, kind of had a moment with myself. It's really hard, and like I felt crazy. I was like, oh, I thought I already had figured this part out.
Yeah.
And now I'm like a 14-year-old. I'm like Googling like, how do you know if you're gay? I was like Googling like women who are married and like find out they're gay, and like I was secretly reading all these books and like just trying to figure out if there was any way that this could like work and all this stuff. And then eventually I was like, hey, I have to just tell him because he deserves to know the truth.
Did you tell him before you acted on it physically?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only like secrecy was me trying to just figure it out and not know, and like, reading articles like after he had gone to bed or like things like that. But then I definitely felt like once I knew for sure, I was like, I have to tell him, and he like deserves to know the truth. And so then,
were things okay between you otherwise?
For the most part, I will say that there was some tension, honestly, because of comedy. But it's
honestly,
true.
I'm gonna side with him right off the gate.
No, I 100%. I don't blame him at all. But no, the tension was from doing comedy, and it was kind of like this tension of like, this is not kind of what I signed up for.
Yeah,
it was literally. We're talking like the plan was like, okay, you're going to go to grad school and then you're going to stop taking birth control your second year of grad school so that we can start trying to get you pregnant, and then you'll get your master's and you won't use it for 10 years because you're going to stay home with however many kids that we decide to have, and I'll work and take care of us and all this shit and that. And so it was like, it was that close. It was me taking the class after the first year and then coming back in the fall when I was supposed to stop taking birth control. And I was like, I kind of want to try this comedy thing out a little bit. I kind of want to see where it goes before we like have kids, and then saw where it goes. And then I realized it. And so, yeah.
Did you get your master's?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah. I am qualified to teach K through 8 in Ontario.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Really
if anyone
applicable.
needs that, reach out.
Oh my God, I was really bad at it though. Like
really?
Actually, I mean,
Teaching's crazy.
I'm good with kids, but I wasn't good with like kind of all the
conveying
sort of
information,
structure, teaching, kind of all
punishing
the parts. Yeah, I would more kind of play like get in trouble from the student teacher.
Do you still want kids?
I think I could imagine myself having like one child at the point in my career that
for 6 hours.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like, well, because part of me feels like I think I could not have kids and be totally happy and totally fine with that. And I have friends who have children who I love very much. And I'm like, if I really want, I could be a lot more involved in their lives. There's no reason that I couldn't go to every birthday and every big play. And, or I could see myself having maybe like one kid if I like at a, when like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler had kids, like they already had Parks and Rec. Wow. Like that, they'd already done SNL. They had Parks and Rec. They've got money. They can, and that's when they have their kid. So I could do that, but not now.
I definitely would need to have Parks and Rec money.
Big
ever
money.
Considered.
No, there needs to be a huge buffer.
Huge.
Because the money is going to make up for my like huge deficits as a as a person.
I'm on a veil for a commercial, babe. I can't come to the recital.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. Like I don't want to have a kid and I have to tell them that. Like I want to be able to not be worried about. True.
No, okay.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah. But it's like
don't break the cycle. Keep recreating it.
I mean, make it your own.
Right.
No, I just like I would never. I don't want to ever turn down work.
No,
at least not at this point. I love it too much.
No, exactly, and that's all that I'm consumed by, and all that I'm focusing on. And the last thing I would want to do is bring a child into the world or have a child and and then be not amazing.
Yeah.
And not give them everything.
Yeah.
So emotionally and all these other
because you might
pieces
fuck
as
up
well.
them and deplete yourself.
Right.
And then who
what?
is this for?
Exactly. Yeah. I definitely feel no obligation. And I think that's one of the nice things about kind of being queer is like people don't even think that we can have families. So
right. We have to fight a lot harder for them. Unless you're just getting
the pressure's really off.
As a gay man, you have to fill out several pieces of paperwork.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. There's a
I don't have that in me.
No, I barely, like, I try once. Like, when I have to do something administrative, like, I will do one attempt. And then if there's anything that's back where they're like, you have to send us this, I'm like, and I don't take that medicine anymore. You know? Like, and I don't actually need to have,
I'm good, actually.
Heat and AC. Like, I don't know. My tolerance for, like, those kinds of things.
Sure.
Like, if I have to make a call and be
administrative
on hold,
work,
I'm just not going to take the trip. I just will stay home. If I have to rebook it, that's not something I can do.
There is something I had made an appointment with Spectrum today, which is like internet provider, to go into the store and like talk some things out.
Oh, okay.
When I tell you, so
you have to talk out. I had to make an in-person way to talk it out. Okay.
About my relationship. It has nothing to do with cable.
Yeah.
No, it was like basically my bill changed and it's like my roommate's account from years ago, and I wanted to get it switched over.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't want to enter
it
his
easy.
email. Yeah. So, but I go 10 a.m. appointment. They open at 10 a.m. The doors are locked. No one's there.
They don't care.
I was like, what? I waited 22 minutes. No one came to the store to open it.
Right.
And I'm like,
and then the 10:30 appointment shows up, and
Yeah,
the employees show up, and you're shit out of luck.
yeah, the 10:30 person did come, and still no one was there to open the store.
Yeah.
So I was like, they're not. I don't think they're here.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll ever try again.
No, I don't think you will either. Yeah, I don't see why you would.
It's not.
It's like
I'll
on
pay.
to the
I'll
next.
pay the more money. I'll pay the
Yeah.
bill that they're sending now.
Yeah.
They wore me down.
It's kind of like that. I've seen like a lot of tweets about it or memes about it where it's like, I'm either going to text you back 10 seconds later or in 6 business days, because it's not because I don't care. It's just like all the things that come up in the next thing you're dealing with and you just forget. Like I open it up to respond and then like I forget until I
I'm driving.
circle back around to the next.
Yeah.
So it's,
When I go to pick up my phone to text someone and I open 6 apps.
Yes.
And then put my phone down, not having sent
correct
the text.
Yeah.
So
all
good
day.
luck.
All day.
Honestly, good luck out there.
Yeah. It's not easy.
It's not personal. It's not easy.
It's not personal at all.
You know?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wait, okay, so you're gay in Ontario.
I'm gay in Ontario. I'm in Toronto. Let's at least say Toronto, because if you say I'm gay in Ontario, it's like I wasn't in like a field in Kingston. Like
I pictured you in a
there were,
canoe, like a
around.
boat.
Like it's pretty, it's very metropolitan.
Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
The New York of
That's right.
Canada.
That's exactly right.
I was only in Toronto for like 2 days, but I loved it.
I love Toronto.
I walked home from a hookup at like 3:30 in the morning.
You're
Never
safe.
felt safer in my life.
You are safe.
I think I literally passed an old couple holding hands and walking.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if you just murdered someone, but you seem safe right now.
They didn't. No, they would give you a ride. Like, had you asked. Like, it is actually kind of idyllic.
Why?
I know.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're gay in Toronto.
I'm gay in Toronto. Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
So it was messy.
Did you move out of your...
Yes.
Okay.
So I moved out, like we lived together maybe like a month or 2 after that, which was quite frankly awkward.
Yeah.
And we like, kind of the divorce like happened kind of quick, and like obviously one of the advantages, I guess, of being married to a lawyer. So I was like, whoa, all right. And
We're
like
done.
it was, so then I moved into an absolute shithole basement apartment.
Did you get anything from the divorce?
I mean, we didn't really have that much because he was like making a lot of money, but went to law school in America.
Yeah,
So when I met him, he had a ton of, and so, I mean, it was very painful, but that like actual sort of dividing of like assets was basically just like, cool, we have like a 2007 Ford Escape.
Right.
I'm going to buy you out of that.
Right.
And have a great day. Like we didn't own
Totally.
anything. We didn't have kids. Like we didn't, I certainly don't have any money and
Yeah.
never did. And so it was pretty like,
Wow.
yeah.
So you moved into a shithole?
I moved into a little shithole and with my dog. And then, and I was like pretty much kind of emotionally like, 14. Like it was very much like kind of starting over. Very
Were you happy
adolescent.
though?
I was terrified.
Okay. Yeah.
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 I was happy that I chose, but there was never like a choice. Like once I knew, I was like,
well,
that's
fuck,
it.
I have
This
to
is what
go.
I'm doing. And like, so yeah, but then pretty soon, but the first like few months certainly were a little rocky because I truly had no idea. It's like, wow, to realize that you didn't even know this huge part of yourself and I know nothing about it. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm just like this weird, even more, I've felt awkward my whole life. Now I'm like this weird, awkward person who like is
A
so
divorcee.
behind
Yeah.
and I'm divorced now and like all this stuff. And so, yeah,
You just had a lot to learn.
I had a lot to learn and I still do, but I learned a lot. I definitely took my assignment seriously.
You had a lesbian notebook. You're like,
so out of control for
wait, what does out of control look like?
I mean, just like
Dates,
having
hookups.
sex with everyone.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, first it was
now
like
we're getting
right. It was kind of like one awkward like hookup. Like the first person that I ever the first woman I ever hooked up with. Like I had been divorced and moved out of my house for like I don't know 3 days, and her dad had like died. Honestly, it felt like that morning. So we were both just like total
raw nerves.
Car crashes and like that. And then I got a girlfriend kind of like, I think that it was so, it's like, I can't change everything about I think I was comfortable like being in a relationship.
Sure.
And so I had like a girlfriend for a while, but then the craziness happened, honestly, kind of like happened this weird reverse order. After we broke up, then I went like insane for 2 years and just had every kind of relationship, every kind of sexual experience, like so sloppy. And unfortunately for me, because this is where I still live, that occurred in LA. So now anytime I go to any queer event, it's like walking into a fucking graveyard. I have like 8 exes at any place. And you know what? It's not that big. This city is big.
No.
Not if you're a lesbian.
Totally.
And so everybody knows each other. Everybody has dated each other. And it truly is that. So unfortunately for me, I did my like very sloppy kind of like fuckboy phase that lasted a while. That happened here where I want to live for a long time.
How long ago now?
It's been like, maybe the last like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, you're just coming out of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, any highlights, any lowlights?
So many. I mean,
any that stick out in your mind?
Yeah. Highlight or low light.
Let's do one of each.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I got myself into trouble a lot because it turns out I'm actually a very sexual person. And so
that's fascinating.
Yeah. And
you're like, oh, this is what people are talking about.
Yeah. Because it's like you try to convince yourself you have something wrong with you, basically. Mm-hmm. And like, so I think that I just have been sloppy. I will say that. And, I always did have good intentions, but it didn't always kind of work out like that.
Were you like the other woman?
I was everything. I mean, I was in polycules. I was like doing everything, but I just never seemed to shy away from like an opportunity to make something like really messy. Like I have like a habit of like having threesomes where like I've had several threesomes where it's almost always me and the current person I'm with and either their ex or my ex.
That just sounds horrible.
And maybe with guys, but not even that. But it's like with women, are you joking? But I didn't.
Yeah. And you didn't learn.
No, I did not. That lesson, I was like, this seems like a good idea. Yeah, and just kept doing it like over and over. Like, yeah.
Wow. Wait. And so are you out of your fuckboy phase or are you just like proudly sexual?
Yeah, no, I am like definitely like very sex positive and like.
Do you have a girlfriend right now?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I'm, it's like kind of finally sort of incorporated. It's all kind of like come together. So I've kind of settled down and like realized like what parts of that I actually liked. And what I like is the like the ownership and the freedom to just be like, I want to fuck this person. I'm an adult, consenting adult. You're a consenting adult. I think you're hot. Great. Like, let's do this. And it doesn't have to mean anything beyond that. Not everyone feels that way. That's another lesson that I have learned.
Are you and your partner open?
We're not open, but we're like, you know, we'll play with others. It depends on the person though.
Sure.
Cause there's definitely, you know, things that I'm a lot more like hesitatent about now. But yeah, not like full. We're not like in like a full. I have done that though. Like the fully like paramours and this.
Yeah.
And yeah. Like, so.
I just think open is the future. I'm really pushing that agenda.
I 100% agree. And I think that like, yeah, I think that is like, that ebbs and flows, and that's philosophically I feel like that as well. It's like people are going to change, and like I think it's only foolish to think that like, oh, I'm happy with our situation right now, and so I want it to be like this exactly
forever.
And
it's
so
like
let
it's
me
not
hold on to it. It's like that's not realistic, and that might make you feel better, but wouldn't it be better if it was like we actually really just like you love each other
and kept choosing each other and not be it's just, it feels childish.
Yes.
To be like, you forever and only you. It's like,
right.
At some point, they start to really feel like family.
Yeah.
Like, you know them too well.
Yeah. I think so.
You know?
I think so. Certainly from like the sexual aspect. Like, I understand not everyone not wanting to be in like a fully like non-monogamous, like having several partners and relationships. That's not for everybody. But I think sexually, that, having a lot of like openness towards that.
You're on vacation. Get jerked off by the person in the hot tub.
Exactly.
Have your little thrill. Come back to me.
Totally.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and I think it's also like a lie that we tell ourselves, where we think if we hold someone really, really tightly, you know, because our worst fear is that they're going to cheat. But what's the fear under that? It's that they're going to cheat and that they would choose that person and not come back. And it's like, I think we push people away because we
holding
try
too tight
to just control them, and it's not. Yeah, it doesn't feel good for anybody, because the fact of the matter is, you and I could be married for 30 years, and at any point I could go cheat. I could leave you. It doesn't matter if we have 5 kids. It doesn't matter if we have all this shit. People do it all the fucking time. So you do want your spot to be blown up that way, or do you want to at least have like honesty about it?
Absolutely. Also, like you said, you may be in a monogamous relationship. Most people cheat eventually at some point. So it's like, okay, would you rather get ahead of this?
Yeah, exactly. And like having some openness to that, like that, maybe that's uncomfortable to hear your partner say like, I want to have this type of sexual experience, and maybe it'll be something that we do together, and maybe it won't. But
you should have it.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, like, I don't want to be the reason that you're not having the experiences you want to have. That sounds like a great way for you to resent
Especially
me.
when the heat wave comes and we all melt to the earth. Like, you're going to be like, I'm glad I didn't suck off that flight attendant. No. Like,
exactly. I'm totally on the same page. I think everything kind of should be just like on a spectrum.
Yeah.
And like there should be a lot more freedom, and then people could just do what they want to do. Yeah.
Okay, let's play a round of hot or not. I'm going to say topics, like sexual topics, and you tell me if you find them hot or not.
Okay. I'm hoping that I don't embarrass myself and not know, and you're like, did you come from a bunker?
No, I'm learning constantly about things.
All right.
PDA.
Hot. I think it can be hot for the people doing it or the people
Well,
watching
I guess
it.
Okay, seeing it, is that hot?
Not typically.
Being the PDA.
Not typically. Okay, so I guess I don't think
you don't think it's hot. I was gonna say fascinating already on the first one. Hot, but not really. No, actually.
Yeah, I guess it's hot in the sense of not in any of the scenarios that you can name as an example. But yeah, no, I guess not then. Yeah.
I personally think there's kind of a line, and you know when it's crossed, but you have to see it before you can like make the assessment.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like a little peck is very cute.
But but can I say a caveat? Any gay person doing anything, I am all for.
Same.
I want to see a guy.
Same.
When I come to West Hollywood, I want to see somebody being raw dogged in an alley, or I'm leaving. I'm not interested. Take up space, boys, like that. So that.
So-
I'm not turned on, but I'm in like a
You're like,
reclaiming.
fuck.
Yeah.
I am
Yes.
that when I see two guys or girls holding hands at like the
Yes.
Grove
Yeah.
or the Americana.
Somewhere
I'm
where
like,
you know that.
get your gay on it.
Yes.
Spread it around.
So maybe that, yeah.
Okay,
we
so I
figure
think
it
we
out.
do
So
like
we do
it.
like
if queer people are doing it, we like it.
Yeah, but I'm like heterophobic. Like I don't want
Totally.
to see like straight.
Well, we've
like,
seen
it's
enough.
So yeah,
We've seen enough.
I have seen enough.
Now your
Sit
turn.
the fuck down.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Group sex.
hot.
Okay. You said that with a lot of certainty.
Yes.
So is like, are you like a Burning Man person?
I'm not a Burning Man person, but I am like a Berlin sex club person.
Have you been to those? Oh wow.
Like that's fun to me.
Damn, you see, this is the thing. I fucking suck at this job. It's a sex podcast. And you've been to like sex clubs in Berlin. And
Right.
somehow in the hour I've been talking to you, I haven't gotten to that part. Crazy.
Yeah, so that's hot to me, like being around a lot of people. Like that's not PDA though, but like
No.
being around a bunch of
It's not
like
public, really.
hot, horny gays who are all fucking around me. Hell yeah, doggy.
So
Yeah.
exhibitionism is a big thing. Like you, or
Yeah.
voyeurism, I guess.
Maybe a little bit of both. Like but it's like that it is insular, like it's private. Like
Yeah.
the people that are choosing to be there, like
Yes, of course.
and like who I'm, I'm very particular. Like it's like a queer this, like all those
Curated.
kinds of things. Yeah. But once I'm in there and like can actually feel safe, like that's very fun.
I'm still a little nervous about sex parties and like sex
Yeah.
clubs. It seems daunting.
I think it is daunting, but I think if you go in with like really no expectations, but if you go in and you're like with your partner and you're like, if I squeeze your hand, that means that we're leaving. If I give you this look, like don't have too much fun, or I'm gonna like, then that's not fun at all. That's not fun in any way. But I've like it can be very fun to just like go and feel like, yes, like this is the future. This is who I want to be around. Like people that are open and that.
You should do a type A person at a sex party as a character.
So scary.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You really made me uncomfortable.
Really like dark energy.
Yeah.
People like that's such a buzzkill though.
Totally.
And I mean, again, not to be too hard on that, but I think like a lot of like straight couples, like they'll have those really restricted, and I've had
Tense.
these conversations. Yeah.
Territorial.
Right. Where it's like, we would consider having a threesome, but it has to be with a girl, because obviously that would put the guy in the
Horrible.
defensive. He could never even, and he's not gay, so why would he want a guy to be there? And like that.
Calm down.
Literally, calm down.
It's like, it has to be a girl. We have to kill her after so she doesn't come for my man.
yeah, there's just so much insecurity, and it's like, wow, that seems really healthy. It seems like you guys really trust each other. Like,
I want what they have.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Couples therapy.
So, hot.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
I love therapy. I've been in therapy forever.
It's good.
And I am all for that. Like, why wouldn't you? It seems kind of
I have
crazy.
a gay couple friend who they started going to couples therapy like in the first 3 months
Yeah.
just to get into the swing of it.
That's
sort
type
of.
A.
Yeah.
That's
it's
type.
micromanaging for sure.
Which one's the Capricorn? Which one's the Virgo?
See,
like so intense.
I don't. What sign are you?
I'm a Taurus.
I'm a Libra.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a Libra rising. Yeah. So
Okay.
you're like more easygoing. You want like everyone to get along.
Yes.
And like.
And when they don't, that's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. And that's when, it's time to peace out.
So in the sex party, I lose my erection.
That is when it gets soft around here. Yeah. No, but couples therapy is great. I mean, I would be in it all the time if it's more like a resource thing, I
Sure.
think, at this point. But anybody that's like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, like it's been really hard, but he refuses. He doesn't believe in it. I'm like, I
Leave
don't
him.
believe in you.
Leave him.
That's so scary.
Leave him.
Yeah.
It's such a red flag for someone to be like,
I can't think of a bigger one, honestly, that
It's
someone
like,
would be like,
why do you not want to talk?
right, or be honest, or
Yeah.
have someone that's gonna
Hold you accountable.
exactly. So that's kind of scary to me.
Fascinating. I'm just so not that person that I
No.
can't get I can't get inside their head.
Right. I can only, because I've experienced it of like dating so many of those people, because I like to punish myself. So I
Yeah,
often
yeah, yeah.
choose people
You
that
should
are
keep doing
horrible.
that. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, couples therapy is very hot.
Come.
Not hot to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really
Yeah.
going out on a limb.
No,
But
like-
sometimes people are randomly like,
Right.
it's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I want you, I like Godspeed, like I wish you and like every person that like
The
is
cummiest,
yeah, like
yeah.
actual, like the physical. But like squirting, okay, now
I was
we're
gonna say
talking.
squirting.
Yeah.
Hot.
That's hot.
Can you tell me what squirting is? Is there a big debate?
I think there's definitely debate. I don't feel that I can speak on that knowledgeably. I don't know. Is it like a little bit of
A little pee, a little bit of this, a little bit of that?
But like girls come, like things come out. You
Okay.
know? So there's some kind of liquid, but I don't know as much about that.
See, I feel better when I hear
Yeah.
a vagina owner doesn't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't really know. I know that like I've seen it, you know, in porn and different things like that, and like I'm not really, I think, being that scientific about it. I'm like,
Just
yes,
like,
I like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm not like, I wonder where that actually comes from. Like it doesn't matter. At
You
that
take
point.
a sample. You're like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna take
wow.
this to the
Yeah,
lab.
Really got me thinking. Yeah, I don't care. Like it's just okay. Pee on me. Go for it.
Rough sex.
Depends.
Okay.
I do not, maybe not hot to me. Like I know I don't like to be slapped around or like really like thrown
You're
around.
not the sub. You're like the dom.
I'm not really either.
Okay.
I would not, like if I was fucking someone and they were like hit me, I don't think I could.
Right. You're like, I don't know my motivation.
Like I don't
just
want
to
to
be
hurt you.
mean,
Like
yeah.
just to like if you want it, but even if it was for their pleasure, like so I think for me it's not hot, but
Sure.
it's not something that I
That's okay.
really engage
You're
in.
not everyone. I maybe need to redo this sex section because people are so afraid of yucking other people's yum.
Right.
But it's like truly just like what you find hot.
Yeah, I don't find it. Yeah, I don't like to feel. I know that that's not what it is, and I know that or maybe it is for some people. But like, I am very easily triggered of somebody being kind of like anything that's towing around violence, and, like,
Sure.
hurting someone, and so it just makes me feel scared.
Yeah, you're like, why are we going? Why are we
Yeah.
going here?
Right. Right.
Sex outdoors.
I think it could be hot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I am a Taurus, so I would prefer like a clean bed in a climate controlled
Oh my god.
room. I think the idea of having sex outside is really hot.
Sure.
But I think
In
in
practice,
practice, like on the beach and all this, and you're
sand,
worried that some weird
splinters.
No, I know it never really.
Pans out.
Yeah, but again, if you're really wealthy and you have you have all this land, sure, and you could sort of like manufacture these like weird.
That's the sex
Yeah,
field.
that's our sex field.
In the distance, you see two people like.
Yeah. I would not have a kid until I have enough money to have
a sex field.
Yeah. I think that's the key.
Okay, the last thing is,
Okay.
what is a piece of advice you'd give young Cara before she began her like sexual journey?
My gay sexual journey, or just
I
my
mean,
journey
honestly,
in
if you go
general?
back to like young, like maybe 10, 12, 14, whatever.
Oh. I mean, I think I know what I would want to convey. I don't even know what the proper advice would be, because I don't necessarily think that I have like any answers about it yet. But I wish that there was something that I could do that could have lifted some of the shame around it. Something where it's like more kind of like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, be easy, and like whatever you want to
Self-love.
do is okay. Yeah. Definitely like would want to apply some kind of gentleness in that direction. Because I think like shame is so hard to shake, and it's just like in our little bodies. And I'm like, I go to EMDR, you know, and it's like trying to rewire that shit. So I think that if some of those layers could have been taken off, you know, that would be kind of nice.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
honestly the underlying goal for this podcast is just to make sex more conversational.
Yeah.
So it's not so like, you know, like.
Because it really is. And like it comes up for me, so, you know, even in like little conversations where sometimes like I'll kind of fancy myself to be very sex positive, and I know that I really am intellectually and practicing
Sure.
that. But sometimes even with friends, you know, someone will catch me off guard and ask me a question, and I really do get I can get really nervous or shut down a little bit, or because it's like my body being primed to like react.
Of course,
like that.
yeah,
and that
like
sucks.
Totally.
So to not have to do undoing would be nice. It's like you're gonna still fuck up and you're gonna have things that you regret, but like to not come into it with your shoulders like at your ears,
Totally.
I think would be really nice for people.
And our shoulders are going to get lower and lower the more we step into those like uncomfortable spaces.
Yeah, and then you realize like, oh, actually everyone does feel that. Like if we were just, if you know, oh, tell me about an experience that you had that really made you feel like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have acted like that, or I'm so embarrassed about that. No one's free
of
from
that.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that, and then that makes other people feel like, oh yeah, like
not alone.
because we're all like going around trying to act like I have this all figured. Like what? No,
And
you
it's
don't.
very egotistical.
Yes.
It's like everyone's thinking about that time I did that thing.
Yeah.
No. Just you.
Exactly. So you can like free yourself, but easier said than done.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Oh God. I live at
1218 North Havenhurst.
right next door. Yeah. I would say I'm like most active on Instagram, Instagram.com. You know, CARA Cons Comedy.
CARA Cons Comedy.
CARA Cons Comedy. Yeah. I on the other platforms, you know, like TikTok is where I kind of get my ego checked, and it's really good for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's where I have
In
it.
what way?
Well, like I'm gonna delete it when I have 100 followers.
Oh.
You know, so I'll be like, like that, like.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm not on. Like,
Wait,
I
have
just
you
don't.
found it's hard to get followers on TikTok?
I haven't really tried though. Like,
Okay.
I think I really try to like. I like am very into the Instagram space, and like
Sure.
that's. I feel like
Where
where
you've invested
I've
your time.
been,
Yep.
and yeah, and so I like. There's always like, oh well, you should. Why are you not writing a joke a day on Twitter? And it's like, because I don't want to. It's not gonna be funny if it's like. Yeah, it's supposed to actually be fun. I didn't actually like become a comedian because I wanted to be told.
Twitter literally has become like something that I kind of like dread. Because it's like you will think something's funny and then it'll get 7 likes and you're like, well, now I feel like a bag of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah. So Instagram is where.
Okay. CARA Cons Comedy.
That's where. Yeah. That's where I keep it real.
Thank you for doing this. I'll cut out that last part. Don't worry.
No, please don't.
I'm gonna leave it.